have some urgent business to do. We've got to make sure that taxes don't go up on middle-class families, that our economy remains strong, that we're creating jobs, and that's an agenda that Democrats and Republicans and independents, people all across the country share.
The agenda is clear, and at stake is the future of one of the world's largest economies. But was today's meeting between congressional leaders and the president just a show, or have the two sides actually found a path to solve the budget crisis? House Speaker John Boehner is taking an optimistic tone.
We had a very constructive meeting with the president to talk about America's fiscal problem. I outlined a framework that deals with reforming our tax code and reforming our spending. And I believe that the framework that I've outlined in our meeting today is consistent with the president's call for a fair and balanced approach. To show our seriousness, we've put revenue on the table.
Our senior parliamentary reporter Mark Dunn is live in Ottawa with more on this story. So Mark, we know the president still is not budging on this issue of tax hikes for the wealthy. So is he actually on a collision course with Congress, or are there clear signs of wiggle room in any of this?
Well, I think there are some signs. I mean, this was a loving, if you will. I mean, there was some back patting going on in that room. Some of the early vids that came out. The president wished John Boehner happy birthday. It's Mr. Boehner's birthday tomorrow. Hey, maybe even they're eating Twinkies, since there's not very many of those left. Apparently, that company's going out of business. So, but yeah, I mean, they seem. I just noticed a poll that CNN is running. Tuesday, that just 82% of Americans want the congressional leaders to avoid a fiscal cliff. So that sort of tells me that I think a lot of these offices, congressmen and senators and whatnot, are being bombarded with emails and phone calls from constituents saying, like, we need a deal. There's too much uncertainty here, and I don't want to go into the Christmas holiday season thinking that in a couple of weeks I'm going to be paying a few $1,000s more in taxes. So you look at some of the words that came into that we have the cornerstone to begin something constructive. We're hearing what the American people are saying. So I think that's all very positive, and of course they're all standing together, almost falling over themselves, which is visuals you don't see too often coming out of the White House with the various congressional leaders. So on that side, I think it's positive. Of course, now we got to get into the nitty gritty and all the behind the scenes kind of stuff to see if they can find some compromise on tax increases that the Democrats want, that the president wants, especially those Americans making over $250,000. Of course, the Republicans want to see some severe spending cuts, Social Security programs, Medicare, Medicaid, that sort of thing. So I guess they're going to have to get out the pen and the calculators and start working, because they all sort of talked about they want something done before Christmas. They don't want to wait till the December 30th or December 31st as well. So we'll see. But then we've got Thanksgiving coming up. We've got the president taking off on a 3-day Asian trip. I think they're talking about some more meetings with the president when he returns. But a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's great to see that good photo op, everyone having a good time, saying that they are going to work together. But let's be honest, the budget crisis has been looming for 2 years. So why is this meeting any different, other than the fact that we're at this timeline? Are we getting any details about who's going to make the compromise?
Yeah, well, I think they've all been signaling and giving hints since the election. I think the key thing is that when they were doing all this 2 years before, there was a lot of election posturing. We've had the election now. The president won a firm mandate. Of course, the Republicans still control the House of Representatives, the Democrats in the Senate. But here we are, just a week into this new president, a week or so. So I think that they can put politics aside a little bit now, because I think the economy is more important than the partisanship arguments there. And of course, we see what's going on with Europe, Eurozone going into a recession yesterday, the problems in the Chinese economy, and of course the problems that the American economy has been experiencing since the 2008-2009 financial crisis. So I think the Americans are getting on the phone, they're getting on the horn, they're sending emails, and they're telling these folks to get a deal, because the economy's in big trouble. We've got to get rid of these $1 trillion deficits and $16+ trillion debts. So maybe finally they're going to put down the weaponry and get a deal done. But who knows?
Well, let's wait and see. Let's see if the time has come that they're actually listening to the people who say we want the job done. So we'll find out. Thank you, Mark.
Anytime.
That is our senior parliamentary reporter, Mark Dunn, in Ottawa. We also want your opinion. Do you think President Obama and Congress will reach a budget compromise, or will the U.S. go over the fiscal cliff? You can log on to sunnewsnetwork.ca to vote.